La Sportiva, you know it. Welcome back to the channel. This is Cody with a Shoe In With Cody. And today we got a good one. I'm going to dive deep into La Sportiva Prodigio. I've had this shoe for a little while now, and I put a ton of miles into this shoe. But I'll be honest with you, La Sportivas and me have not always worked out. I found them to be a little too firm, a little too tight around my foot, and honestly, it's just been kind of a one-way street. They love me, I don't necessarily love them. And then the Prodigio came into my life, and I got a lot to say about this shoe. Now, before I do dive into the good, the bad, and should you buy this shoe? This shoe right here, I do want to point out one thing. La Sportiva sent this shoe to me for review. But as always, they have no opinion on what I'm going to be putting in this review. Now, before I dive into this deep dive, the good, the bad, the verdict of this shoe, do me a favor. Hit the like button and smash the subscribe button. You know you want to. Costs you absolutely nothing, but it absolutely helps the channel. Now let's sit back, relax, and let's talk about La Sportiva Prodigio. Because I'm a positive guy, I'm going to start with the positives. There's a lot to say about this shoe. The first one I'm going to talk about though is because I wasn't expecting it, is the foam. The midsole they're using, the X Flow, is really comfortable. In other La Sportivas, I found them to be way too firm for me. I don't love a very squishy shoe, but I don't love a firm shoe either. This definitely found a very nice middle ground. The X Flow is fantastic. There's not a lot of it, but it definitely gets the job done. I found this on my East Coast trails when the trails got a little bit gnarly. It worked out really nicely, but they also worked out really nicely on some rail trails and the buffed out trails. The foam definitely feels like it can handle a lot of different terrain that is throwing its way. The other awesome thing is the grip. I did some rainy runs, kind of where it's wet out, creek crossings, and this definitely did the job. I live in Pennsylvania. We do have some trails that are pretty gnarly, and you definitely want to make sure you have a trail shoe that can get the job done, and it definitely did. The other really nice thing I had is a great lockdown in. Great lockdown in, and I was able to cruise for miles. Other La Sportivas I found a little too tight. I don't have a wide foot. I always tell people I have a wideish foot, and in reality, the other La Sportivas I tried just, oh man, it hurt my foot so much. But this one, not the case. Now, I do want to point out, I did go up a full size, so that probably helps a little bit. I'm usually a 9.5 in men's. I had to go a 10.5 in this shoe. Lengthwise, it works perfectly, and widthwise, it definitely fits perfectly. Great lockdown in. I took this again for about maybe 31 miles, and each time I kind of forgot the shoe was on. I laced it up and cruised, and it worked really nicely. I would probably put this in a 50K or less kind of trail category. The reason why I wouldn't take it any past the 50Ks, anything more than 50K, I probably need a little bit more foam. The foam is really nice, don't get me wrong. I like the foam they put in here, but I'm a kind of a baby. Anything further than that, I'm gonna need a little bit more foam. Spoiler, I think there is a version of this coming out with more foam, which would probably answer my desire. Give me a little bit more foam. But overall, I mean, there's a lot to love about this shoe, especially with my expectations were so low. And I got this in the mail, I was like, yeah, La Sportiva, okay, let's give it a spin. Probably won't work for my foot. But again, zero expectations, and this thing knocked it out of the park. This is definitely on a short list. If I was running an ultra right now, 50K or less, this is on a short list of shoes that I would probably be picking up. With the good, you know there has to be some bad. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about, I know some of you are going to be like, Cody, it doesn't really matter. I hate the looks of this shoe. I really do. I don't love the ketchup and mustard vibe. I know La Sportiva, this is their colors and everything. I just don't dig it. I really don't. When I look down, I kind of hate the looks of it. And I know, again, it has nothing to do with the performance, but looking good, feeling good, isn't that what it's all about? And this just kind of misses the mark for me. There are other versions I've seen that are just, the colorway is just so much better. So again, don't let this model, if you love this model, perfect. If you don't love this model, there's definitely other versions out there that definitely will get the job done. The other thing I do want to point out is there is a break-in period in this one. Some shoes I get, hit the trails, good to go. I would say around 10 miles it took for this shoe to really break in, which isn't, again, not a deal breaker by any means, but I do want to point that out. The first couple miles I took this in, I think I did like a 5-mile quick run, and I was like, ugh, okay, not feeling this shoe. But then I was like, okay, well, I still want to get the miles in. And then after I got the 10 miles, a little bit over that, I felt like this X-Flow foam broke in. It felt a little bit better. But again, you know, there's one of those things that I do want to point out. It does have a break-in period. So if you do plan on taking these out for like a race or something like that, make sure you get the miles in before you decide to use the shoe. The other thing is, it's good on road to trails. It is not great. Again, it is a trail shoe, but I do like to point that out because I do have a lot of people that say, hey, will this work good on a road to trail? It's good. It's not great. I think if you're running a race or running a run that has a lot of road crossings or large sections in the roads, there might be better options, honestly. I found this rubber to be really nice. It's definitely, you know, grippy, does a great job on the trails, but after a while, again, you know, I just kind of got tired of it on the roads. A lot of the runs I do will be like maybe 1.5 miles to the trails, and it's good, it's just not great. Again, a lot of just goods, not greats. Nothing really deal breaker with this shoe, which is saying a lot. There are things I'm kind of nitpicking here with the Prodigio, which is a good thing. That's what you want. You just want me to be nitpicking and not finding some deep flaws in the shoe. So far, again, some nitpicky items, but I do want to point them out. So there you have it. You have the good and you heard the bad. Now you want to know, should you buy the shoe? Do I recommend buying this shoe? Yes. Yes, I do. I honestly do. I think if you're, especially on areas that have a little bit more gnarly trails and you're looking for something that's comfortable and responsive, yeah, I definitely think this is an option for you. I think if you're looking for a 50K or less shoe, this just feels, it fits the box for me. A couple of things I look for. Foam, is it comfortable and responsive? Check it off. Does it have a great lockdown? Check, lock it off. Does the rubber and the lugs work for me on some gnarly terrain, as well as when I get on single track? Can I rip it? It does. It really works for all the things I'm looking for in a trail shoe for those trail races. Again, hate the looks of this shoe, but looks are vain. Don't judge a book by its cover. And I learned that with this one, because if I just went off of the looks, I probably would have passed the shoe and I would have missed an absolute stud of a shoe. This is definitely one of the shoes I would recommend. It is $155, which is definitely on the higher end, but unfortunately I feel like all shoes, roads or trails, are just increasing. The cost of living is a lot, and unfortunately trail shoes are not, you know, they're going to be caught up in there as well. So for $155, I think you get a stud of a shoe. So there you have it. You heard the good, you heard the bad, and you heard my verdict on this shoe right here, the Sportiva Prodigio. Now I want to know, have you tried this shoe? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Comment below. Let me know, because again, this shoe was a huge surprise for me, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's been a surprise to a lot of trail runners out there. Again, definitely let me know what you think about this, and subscribe to the channel, and smash the like button.